Para sa mga kwento ng pagbangon at pagiging kampeon ng mga atleta, ako si Jed Eva, ang current chairperson ng Nowhere to Go But Up Foundation.
At para naman talakayin ng mga hamon at pagbabago sa industriya, ako naman si PG Galang, miyembro ng Nowhere to Go But Up Board of Trustees, and we are your hosts.
Mga ka-sports, samahan ninyo kaming pag-usapan ang mundo ng pampalakasan, whether it's about historic invented sports, the changes and the challenges in the industry, or just to highlight outstanding athletes. This is the show for you.
And this is where we talk about our love for the game, your one-stop shop for everything sports, athletes, and the leagues. We will get into the works and the ways. We will dive deeper into different stories for the fans, by the fans. This is TVUP and we bring you
Inside the Games.
Hello again, Jen.
Nice to see you again,
Oo
PG.
nga.
At binabati ko rin ang mga ating mga ka-sports na patuloy sa pagsusubaybay sa atin.
Yeah, maraming salamat po at nanonood kayo sa amin. Another year, another series of games. So, Jed, may tanong ako. What do you wish for our athletes this year?
Well, I think my wish for all our athletes, no, whether they're in the UAP, the NCAA, whether kakampi natin, kasama natin sa UP, or even yung mga players sa ibang teams, ang talagang wish ko is sana walang ma-injure sa kanilang mga competitions.
That's the worst, really.
It's really di ba? So if it's only possible to avoid injuries forever, sana it would happen.
For me naman, ang wish ko sana ay mabawas-bawasan o sana mawala talaga ang bashing. Kasi hindi lang physical health ang dapat na inaalala natin sa mga athletes. Kung hindi pati na rin ang kanilang mental health, uso ngayon yan. Noong panahon natin, hindi natin inaalala na yun, nung bata tayo. Pero ngayon, mental health is really an issue.
Yeah. Actually, that's one of the, kumbaga, effects of social media. Kung dati, athletes could only read about themselves in newspapers. Ngayon, sa SOCMED, nababasa nila yung if they have a bad game, di ba? Grabe yung mga comments.
Wala nang privacy na ngayon. Wala.
Pero, alam nyo, mga ka-sports, an example of this is our very own UP men's basketball team. No? For example, si Captain CJ Cancino, isa siya sa mga top players natin na na-injure. And in fact, he lost a whole year, no, because of his injury. Kaya, let's watch this feature on si Cap, CJ Cancino.
Yes.
In the world of basketball, every player dreams of greatness. But for CJ Cancino, the journey took a heartbreaking turn. From being a rising star to facing his darkest battles, CJ opened up about the struggles of mental health, the weight of expectations, and the pain of self-doubt. At UST, Cancino opened up about the immense pressure and expectations that weighed on him. He kept all his emotions inside, and it affected him. He felt like he had no one to talk to. His struggles with mental health led to moments of deep uncertainty, even when he even questioned his future in basketball, thinking his dreams were over. But his transfer to UP provided a new environment. Then came another test, an ACL injury that sidelined him from the game he loved, forcing him to miss UAP Season 85 and endure a long, grueling recovery process. Even when doubts crept in, he remained determined. He wanted to be back, no matter how long it took. Surgery, recovery, uncertainty. Yet through every setback, CJ refused to stay down. His return was nothing short of heroic. Despite lingering pain, he played a crucial role in UP's title-winning run. In the Season 84 finals, he hit back-to-back clutch threes in overtime, helping UP secure its historic first UAP championship in 36 years. CJ Cancino is more than an athlete. He is a fighter, a survivor, and an inspiration. Grabe, no? What a journey talaga for Captain CJ Cancino. No?
May dahilan kung bakit siya sikat. Idol ng lahat yan si CJ. Hindi lang dahil sa pogi siya, no? Kaya alam talagang iba talaga ang fortitude ng batang yan. Talagang we all admire him. And to help us dive deep into this topic, we called on for the help of a strength and conditioning coach, Julius Simon, from the UP Office of Athletics and Sports Development, OASD. Hi, Coach. You again. So, as a coach, nakita mo naman yung so what do you think is the hardest part mentally for being sidelined due to injuries?
Sa experience namin, so basically baka yung gano'ng katagal bago makalaro ulit.
Gano'ng katagal?
So kunyari yung kay CJ dati, parang 1 year, di ba? So parang yung physical na therapy, kaya yun eh. Pero yung, syempre sa utak niya, makakabalik ba ako? Pag nakabalik ba ako, malagawa ko pa ba yung ginagawa ko dati.
Sabagay. Pero alam mo ngayon, di ba, actually before before the show, no, parang nag-uusap tayo ni Coach yung iba na ngayon yung the wait time for recovering from, let's say, yung kay CJ, ACL.
Kasi
diba you were
dati,
mentioning? Oo.
dahil wala pang masyadong technology, pag nasabing na ACL ka, you torn your ACL, most probably it's career-ending na agad. Dati
Dati.
Few years back. Pero ngayon, pag sinabing torn ACL, usually the doc will say, after the surgery, give you 8 to 12 months, so 1 year.
Which is what happened to Cap
CJ, yan. Then makakabalik ka na agad.
So, I have a question, Coach. So, you're saying 1 year, no? 1 year ka off from the game. Di ka pwede maglaro because of your ACL.
Yeah.
So, even if you've been playing the game all your life, syempre, that time off away from the game affects you both physically and mentally. It's not just muscle memory, but also your mental. Ano? So, how do you guys address it?
Usually, di ba yun nga, yung sa physical part, parang kaya mo na i-check eh. Diba? You get the x-ray, makikita mo kung nag-i-improve na yung injury mo eh. Yung sa mental part, yung medyo mahirap talaga kasi it's on the person itself eh. So kailangan mo talaga siyang, well, parang tutukan na talagang isusupport niyo talaga siya na i-check on him time to time. Yung, okay ka ba? Anong kailangan mo? Anong kailangan mong tulong dun sa ibang aspect ng injury niya? Kasi sa mental part talaga yung medyo mahirap.
O kasi minsan nakakalimutan natin, mga bata pa rin yung mga yan,
Yeah, yun
diba?
pa.
So, and also now, ang ano ko is, the length of their college careers, the time,
Yun pa po.
iba pa yun, diba? So, parang yung pag-aalala nila na, mas maiksi na ngayon, napapansin ko mas maiksi na ngayon. Very rare na ang player na who will play out the entire 5 years ng playing ano niya.
Coach, just let me explore lang the connection between the mental and the physical,
Okay.
di ba? Have you encountered times wherein physically okay na yung player, pero parang mentally, parang hindi pa niya tanggap na okay siya? Like example, alam mo na that he can take the strain, pero natatakot siyang tumalon dahil, di ba, baka ma-injure
For
siya.
example, usually after nung therapy season niya, so we transfer to your SNC coach. So from there, you'll do some tests. Kaya sa knee, you'll check it kung kaya na ba nung tuhod na, so you'll start with hops before a jump. So from there pa lang, you can see na parang kaya naman niya, pero parang nag-aalangan siya. So yun pa lang, makikita mo na agad na more on mental part na yun na kailangan talaga, umaga baby steps ulit na ma-retrain niya yung movement na yun para magkaroon siya ng confidence to do it again.
So, what do you do? You constantly reassure? Ano yung steps to remind him na
Kaya niya yun.
Yeah, first of all, you need to reassure yung knee niya or yung ankle niya na okay na. Kasi you'll do some exercise eh. So pag chinek yun, parang kaya niya na yung movement na yun eh. So you just have to, for example, before you jump, you need to do some simple hops muna. Slowly lang, then you check. Then from there, you progress properly. Hanggang magawa niya yung, from jogging to sprinting ulit. Parang ganun. So may step-by-step siya talaga lagi. Doon mo pa makikita yung competency niya dun sa movement.
So parang anong nangyayari sa'yo, Coach, not just strength and conditioning physically, pati mentally.
Mentally, oo, yeah.
So double duty ka. Do you think that teams and organizations can do something about it to better support injured athletes psychologically? Kasi you're taking on 2 duties dahil it's not just strength and conditioning, but you have to mentally tell them
So
na.
parang ano lang siya, di ba sa school, kapag sa school setting, di ba meron tayong guidance counselor, di ba? Parang ganyan yan
Meron
eh.
bang men's basketball team kayo ng parang guidance counselor?
Sports, like parang I think wala ata, wala pa ngayon.
Diba?
Pero usually ngayon, parang ang trend kasi for mental health, yung sa ibang school, sa ibang teams, lalo na yung mga professional, meron na silang sports psych na tinatawag.
Tayo wala pa.
Wala pa tayo.
Oy, dapat meron tayo.
But even prior to the tapping of like professional sports psychologists, no, how do you think nakaka-influence yung how sensitive a coach is or management is or even yung training staff is to yung needs ng player pagdating sa coming back from an injury? I mean, for example, I don't know ano yung usual style, no? Like for some players, do you like pressure him into returning dahil natatakot siya or yung iba kailangan ba na medyo
Alalay.
ano?
Usually,
Depende ba sa player or
depende
may-
individually.
what-
Kasi may ibang players, yung pag lagi mo siyang parang binabanatan na, kaya mo na yan, gawin mo na yan, idiin mo lang yan, parang gano'n. Mas lalo siyang parang hindi siya bumabagsak eh. May ibang players naman, pag pinagalitan mo, biglang gumaganda yung laro eh. So iba-iba. So
Or yung coach, ano mas okay? Yung dahan-dahan o yung
well, kasi
pinipilit?
kami, mas dahan-dahan
Anong style mo?
kasi doon makikita ko yung progression niya from SNC hanggang makalaro siya ulit. So parang
So, mas
step by
gentle
step,
ka.
parang gano'n.
Dahan-dahan.
Dahan-dahan.
So sometimes some players need to be challenged. Sometimes naman they have to be comforted. Parang
may ganun po.
mga-
Depende sa
on
individual.
Depends on ano.
Pero
Depends.
meron rin ito, parang kultura, team culture. It plays into, kaya lahat ng team mo, athletic or yung go-getter, di syempre may pressure rin dun sa bata to get well, to get better, or yung iba, kung magkakaibigan ba sila, di ba? Team culture. Do they feel comfortable enough opening up about mental struggles? Are they friends? Does that help or
Well, technically in the team, dapat open kayo sa isa-isa. Usually, lalo na pag college teams eh. So, meron niyang mga tinatawag na, usually the coaches, they don't talk to the players.
Oo nga eh, di ba?
Kayo lang muna,
Diba?
pag-usapan niyo yan. So, you have your team captain, and then from there, kung kailangan nung coach, si coach naman yung
Oh yeah, I can't imagine, let's say, Coach Gold being, di ba, tahimik yun eh. Di ba?
So dadaan siya dun sa... minsan din, may mga assistant coaches na sila yung, sa group na to, ikaw yung mag-handle. Itong group na to.
Meron kayong ganon?
May ganon po eh, parang sa mga Phil-Abs. Parang, sige,
Ay,
ikaw
so maganda
Hindi naman,
naman,
parang sa start lang kasi simula. Pero eventually dapat mag-gel
Dapat friend,
kayo.
oo, dapat
Siyempre,
friends.
para makuha niyo yung ultimate goal eh, na mag-champion. So kailangan talaga as one kayo na lahat na magkakausap o magkakasama.
It's a good thing you mentioned that, coach, no. So for example, no, may player na, of course you handle different players, no. If you notice a young player who seems to be struggling with school, studies, even playing, no, kita mo dahil siguro he'll have a series of bad games, he has mental health issues, binabanatan sa social media or whatever. What advice would you give to that player to make him address this concern?
Ay, ang hirap kasi ngayon because of social media, di ba?
Oo
So
nga.
talagang kahit sabihin mong wag mong pansinin yan, once they open their phones,
In
makikilala
one of
kagad
our
yung...
previous episodes, we actually tackled that issue
Yeah.
Yung the effect of social media na nung unang panahon nila Benji Paras, wala namang
Wala namang
ganun, di
ganun.
ba? It's a recent phenomenon. They have to deal with it. I mean, our players, especially those that are televised, like it or not, are stars, di ba? So, and stardom entails yun na nga, social media. So, nakakadagdag yun ng pressure sa kanila. So, ano pinagawa nyo pag ganun?
Well, usually we talk to the player lang. Yun yung pinaka-basic na pwede mong gawin. Then eventually, parang kailangan mo lang ipa-realize sa nila na ando ka na sa level na to eh. So expect na hindi lahat magiging positive, hindi lahat magiging negative. So kailangan mo lang siyang, just tell them that you're here, na we'll support you whatever happens, kung anong mangyari or...
Pinapaano nyo ba na yung parang, kunyari, during the season, sock med off? Meron ba kayong mga ganong mga rules? Sock med off?
Minsan meron.
Diba?
So usually, kuyari, dapat, i-remind mo na siya, matanda na rin sila eh. Sasabihin, dapat,
Tsaka hindi nasusunod yun siguro
dapat
yung mga
mga
ibang...
10
Kasi
phones
part
off
of
na,
breathing
sleep
ng mga
early,
bata
parang
ngayon
ganun.
ng
So,
sock med, diba?
mahirap din
So medyo we've discussed the mental aspect, no? But of course, as a strength and conditioning coach, you've encountered players na with really bad injuries, having a hard time come back. Paano ba naka-affect, can you go into detail about how an injury can really affect yung confidence and yung motivation nila bilang athletes? For example, kung ACL or something, paano ba na-affect yung confidence nila?
Yeah, examples.
For example, yung kay, sa player lang. Kasi usually, when you get injured, ang unang isipin niya agad is, lalo na pag in-season, parang, kailan ba makakabalik? Kailan ba gusto ko makalaro? Gusto ko ng... Kasi isipin nila, tama yung sinabi niyo po kanina. Usually, 4 years na lang ang playing years ngayon. Hindi na ginagawa
kung
yung fifth
maswerte
year.
ka, ha, 4
So, if you
years.
get injured, 3 na lang siya. Kasi usually, pag ACL, 1 year sit-down yun eh. So, 3 na agad yung lalaruin mo. So, sa player, parang, ang nila lagi is, ang tanong nila lagi, Coach, kaya bang bilisan? Kaya bang...
Mahirap
para
bang
recover.
pilitin yun eh. Katawan yun eh.
Oh, pero, syempre, parang gagawin mo lahat nung pwede mong magawa. to explain to him na if we do this right, pag naka-recover ka properly, mas makakalaro ka ng mas mahaba after pa nung college career mo. So, kailangan mo lang, paano mo explain yun, na kailangan i-assure sa kanya na, short, na kailangan...
Like a good example, how you, sino ba yung mga recent natin? Like Terence, di ba Terence? Medyo matagal-tagal siyang na ano.
So, on and off yun.
On and off. So, how did you help him get through it? Kung ganon. Kasi when he went back, ang galing na ulit niya eh. Di ba? Parang it was a success. Di ba? He was able to play at top level agad eh. Di ba? So
usually, pag for example, yung kay Terence, he got injured and then we did therapy, get patient with it, and then eventually nakalaro siya agad eh. But after nun, nagka-injury na naman siya. So, you just need to explain to him na meron talagang parang sabi lang, malas talaga. Yung kahit sobrang...
Kasi doon ata siya tinamaan doon sa injury nga mismo.
Kasi parang contact sa non-contact eh. So pag tinamaan ka talaga hindi mo talaga may iwasan yung injury, you can minimize. Pero you cannot prevent talaga. Kasi nga merong outside factors eh. So, yun, you just have to explain to the player na ano yung plan nyo so he can play again. Detailed plan kung anong gagawin.
Speaking of which, no, sabi, you're right. No? Injuries are unavoidable. Accidents are unavoidable. But really, is there a focus now, or is there are SNC coaches now also looking at how doing things to prevent injuries? Seeing as how napaka-far-reaching ng consequences niya?
Actually, not actually prevent. It's to minimize the risk tsaka yung severity ng injury. So basically nga, kaya ipe-prepare mo dapat yung katawan mo prior to the competition itself. So kunyari ngayon, off-season ngayon eh. So from now, you're starting building up. So you're lifting weights, you're conditioning, then eventually, kumbaga para kang nag-iipon ng pundasyon so that you're going to use it for the incoming season para mabawasan yung chances mo ng injury.
Parang yung pinag-usapan natin kanina lang before the show na dati, nung unang panahon, you are either born athletic or you're not born athletic. But now, with strength and conditioning, na mas ang laki na nung knowledge natin at siyensya on how to do it. And almost anyone can become athletic. So, diba? Yun ang sabi mo. Tapos, pag naging athletic, ang con naman nun is...
Ang daming kaya nang gawin.
And then,
nagiging tumataas tuloy yung chances na ma-injure ka.
Ayun, see?
So kahit ang advanced na nung technology ngayon, dahil ang ganda na nung system, kaya mo nang i-develop lahat, tumaas naman ngayon yung rate ng injuries ngayon nung mga...
So dapat pala, pag ganon, kasama na rin yung psych.
Na
habang lumalakas ka,
tama lahat.
na rin eh. Kasi minsan, ang lakas niya, tapos you can't handle rin naman. Pero that's too advanced. We don't have naman... Ngayon lang kasi nagiging... center stage ang mental health when it comes to athletes, di ba?
Tsaka importante din siya talaga kasi nga, kahit naman sobrang kondisyon ka, kung yung utak mo naman is not working or you're not focused, kung di ba ang dami mong iniisip, hindi ka rin magpe-perform ng maayos eh. So kailangan, it works hand in hand. Body and mind, di ba, yung sabi nila. So kailangan din with mental health, kailangan i-focus din talaga siya na kailangan, marami pang studies eh, parang usually yung sports psych, you need to talk to someone. You need to open up. You need to listen kung ano yung kailangan ng player. You need to communicate with everyone para talaga malaman mo yung concern ng athlete or ng player.
Ganda ng insights mo, Coach. So, if there are young athletes now, maybe in high school or in college, watching the show now, what would be your advice? What would you tell them, who are... what would you tell these athletes who fear that their injuries might be ending their careers or might be affecting their careers negatively? What would you tell them now?
Well, first of all, hindi talaga ma-prevent yung injuries. What you can do is minimize the chances of having it. So what will you do? So of course, you need to do strength training. Yun pa lang, parang dapat yung katawan mo is ready for the activity or sport that you're going to do. So you need to invest on it. Well, hindi mo siya makukuha overnight. So it takes months and years of lifting weights.
Oo, ngayon, uso ngayon. Dapat ngayon,
Nagbubuhat na.
Nagbubuhat.
Kahit yung
Dati
girls
wala.
na yan, nagbubuhat na
Oh,
yan.
diba? Dati walang buhat-buhat.
So, hindi pwede i-cram yun. Hindi yan parang exam na mag-cram ka
yung
before
bigla sa
the tournament. I mean, you have to work on it long term.
Yearly, pag athlete ka, kung bata ka pa lang, di ba, you start with the basics. Then eventually, magpo-progress na magpo-progress. Pero you need to maintain it every month. Kailangan talaga consistency is yung key talaga dyan eh. Kasi nga parang nagbi-build up ka lagi para makuha mo yung highest level the performance na kaya mo. And then if you get injured, dahil malakas na yung katawan mo, mas mabilis siyang makaka-recover dun sa injury na yun. Kaya kumpara dun sa mga tao na hindi kondisyon or hindi nag-weights or hindi nag-exercise ng maayos, if they get injured, dahil nga mahina, ang dami pang kailangan palakasin nung part na yun bago pa maging overall na para dun sa performance talaga level. Yeah.
Kasi hindi na uso ngayon yung mga players na parang
Patpatin.
patpatin. That's the term. Parang,
Meron din naman patpatin, pero
you develop them to have muscles. Diba?
may
Kasi
muscles
otherwise,
pa
hindi
rin,
sila tatagal eh.
Yeah, meron pa rin.
Kasi bungguan talaga sa Pilipinas pa naman, di ba? Pinoy ball is so different from other ball. Di ba? Other jurisdictions about basketball. Talagang very physical.
Physical game talaga.
Di ba? So, last question.
Diba?
How has your perspective on mental health changed through your experience? Iba ba?
Oh yeah, kasi nung dati, nung player ako dati nung high school, yun nga, yung panahon namin, wala namang
Kailan yun? O, di, wag naman sabihin.
tagal na.
Pero ano yun, grin and bear it lang, di ba?
Yung
Parang
pwede.
power through it, power through
kung
it.
sabihin
Yung
ng coach mo na parang, gano'n coach, parang may problema ako sa bahay. Wala, ano mo lang yan. Dapat parang dito ka. Kalimutan mo
Ilaro mo lang yan.
Oo.
Ilaro mo lang yan. Yun yung
Basketball ka lang. Hindi nila masyadong, hindi naman nine-neglect siguro, pero iba yung panahon dati na dapat tough eh. Yung, di ba
especially
yung,
about men, especially.
di ba yung pag, di ba sa lalaki parang hindi ka pwedeng magsabi ng, parang ang ipo-project is parang mahina ka na parang ganun. So parang yung coach mo parang, ha?
Bawal iyakin.
Bawal lang iyakin, di ba?
Bawal iyakin, oh.
Laban mo lang yan, gano'n. Ngayon, since nag-evolve na siya, kailangan mo rin intindihin yung, well, yung sabi na, men don't cry, di ba? Parang gano'n. Oo, pero sa loob niya, nandun lang yung talagang emotions eh. So that's why pumapasok ngayon yung mga sports psych, na parang talagang, yun nga, someone to talk to, makapagsabi yung player, then you can give, advice. Kasi ang hirap din yung, syempre pag sa coach, parang, ang hirap magsalita eh, di ba? Parang,
Bakit? Pero dapat siguro sa inyo, merong
yun,
sa inyo
yun.
na may nakakausap yung mga bata.
well, meron naman talaga dapat. Kasi parang una-una yung makuha mo yung loob ng player. Di ba? Syempre, ang hirap naman mag-open up kung hindi kayo close. Di ba? Parang basic naman yun eh. So, pag nakuha mo na yung loob, then eventually, makikita mo na agad dun sa player eh kung parang wala siyang gana, di ba? Parang,
Pero maganda yung kunyari kung merong isang dedicated na psych coach na alam ng mga bata na yun lang talaga, pwede nilang kausapin for that. Kasi ngayon, parang touch and go kung kasundo nila yung coach, kung hindi.
well, mas maganda talaga merong sports psych.
Oo,
Every
diba?
team, pero alam ko sa CHK ngayon, merong sports psychology, parang department or subject. Parang pwede kang magsali.
Do they know that?
Alin
Tapos siguro alam nila
yung
yun.
OSD have a partnership with the Psych Society, I think, if you want to,
That's good.
parang, parang kailangan magpa-schedule ng sport, ng
Dapat
psych session.
push
parang
natin
ganun.
yan na sa mga athletes na merong ganong...
Siguro
ano
kailangan
pala.
i-explain sa mga athletes na hindi naman porket nagpa-psych ka, parang may problema na agad sa
Hindi ka naman baliw, di
Oo,
ba?
di ba? Usually, yun ang iniisip ko, di ba?
Dapat wala ng stigma na
Ba't ka
ganon.
nagpapasike? Ano ba? May problema ka ba sa utak,
O,
di ba?
matigas lang ang ulo mo,
Oo.
ganyan.
Kailangan
Hindi.
kailangan i-realize sa everyone na hindi lang naman yun eh, na kailangan mental health eh. So, kailangan mo ng kausap, kailangan mo lang ng kausap na ilalabas mo yung, na hindi mo mailabas sa ibang tao.
Alam mo, Jet, kung nung panahon natin, meron na siguro hindi tayo naging ganito. Anyway, no, I'm only kidding. So, maraming salamat, Coach.
Thank you din po.
So, sa ating sa pagiging forthright mo sa mga
I hope na
yeah,
clear ko
marami
yun.
kami natutunan.
So, maraming salamat, Coach, for all of your insights, no? And for joining us today. Thank you also to our viewers for staying up with us up till now.
Thank you very much, everyone. Samahan nyo kami sa marami pang usapin tungkol sa mga athletes at sports. Muli, this is TVUP and we bring you both
Inside the game.